All right. Let me stop this. Okay. Welcome again. Good evening to all, and those that will catch this and listen to this. If you're new to the Chaos Rain channel, welcome. And if you're not new, please hit the red button, top bell for notifications when I go live or there's an upload here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, you can follow me now on Twitter at ChaosRain7, and you can now add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. As you know, today's stream, as you know, we're going to be doing some debunking. And it's all in good faith. And to really have this long dialogue or conversation. But before I start to show y'all what we're going to go into more about it, the title, Actually, let me give you the title now before I bring my friend up here. The title for today's stream is titled Black Men Committing the Most Homicides in This Country. And that's a question mark that every Black person, man and woman, should really question now. And I'm hearing it from a lot of other content creators or wherever keep pushing this notion that we're super violent and they commit the most, I guess, murders, deaths, not only to ourselves, but others in this country. And we're going to examine that in its totalitarian. So let me bring in my special friend co-host for this special stream, the one and only Charles Faulkner Jr. What's good, Charles? Woo! As he gets his mic.
What's up, man?
What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome, welcome. Thank you, good Charles, for up here to really look into this again. And before we go into it and break down one video, and then we'll look at the data, and then we're gonna look at what is misconceptualized. Tell people a little bit about yourself and your channel, if you can.
Well, channel's called Charles Faulkner Jr. We talk about the multifaceted Black man. Where we talk about anything from law enforcement, geopolitics, local politics, Black male and female relationships, problems and solutions. This right here will stem from being on the lead attorney's channel and listening to another Black officer, police officer, spew the rhetoric that everybody wants to hear. That Black people commit 52% of the homicides in this country. At 14%, we commit more than half the homicides. Now, I'm going to ask you this question, Chaos.
Go ahead.
How many people did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot?
He told 3 bodies, 2 dead, 1 made it alive. Last time I checked.
Was he ever convicted for murder?
Nope.
So those deaths, will they be classified as murders?
Absolutely not.
But if it was a 17-year-old Black child, what would you think that child be classified as?
Automatically murder. Hell, they might even convict a 14-year-old Black boy if he shot somebody.
But yet, they don't understand that the white ruling class finagle numbers, finagle statements to prevent them having murder. Amber Geiger, remember her?
Yeah, I remember her.
She broke in and kicked in a door of an apartment, saw a Black man sitting there in his underclothes. She claimed she thought it was her apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the funny thing, Charles. She was trying to get, I guess, parole, and she was denied.
Yeah. And here's the part.
Yeah.
Was she convicted for murder?
Yeah. But
no, she wasn't.
No. Actually, matter of fact, no. I don't think they convicted her of murder. It was something else. Manslaughter. Ah.
So, see how they configured the numbers? But if that was a Black person who did the same thing, what do you think their conviction would be?
Automatic murder.
So when they hear this shit about we committing all these crimes, all this shit, later.
Why you couldn't get drunk?
As Charles gets is singing, make sure you guys hit the like button. Go ahead.
So in other words,
for those that want to chime in, but go on, Charles. Go ahead.
So in other words, we're gonna act like people do not conflate the numbers. People do not change the narrative to what they want it to be. You saw how the judge in the Rittenhouse case was.
Mm-hmm.
He was on code. And a white, lily white state with a lily white fucking jury with a lily white judge. They let that boy get away with literally murder, especially being in a place he wasn't supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, we still got Negroes talking about 52% of the murder. And and I'm starting to know why I'm not on as many people's channels. Even though I'm well known in these spaces, I know why. Because I'm going to challenge the popular notion.
Mm-hmm.
They still probably think that more black men in prison than in college.
Facts.
Oh man. It's amazing how everyone can have these criminal justice talks, but not include your boy in them.
Mm-hmm.
Look how long it took Bernard Riley to interview me.
It took like almost a whole year and a few months, bro. At best. And mind you,
on top of that, then on top of that, shout out to Bernard for the interview.
Yeah.
The subject matter today was like, are black cops worse, or basically harder on black people? And I'm like, oh my God. You couldn't ask me, do we need more black officers to represent us? But we had to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened to Sergeant Dorsey. Never heard back from her.
Mm-hmm. And she was in law enforcement for like 20 years now?
20 plus.
Wow.
Didn't even hear back from her. Lead attorney barely could get on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say this because when we look at these facts and these myths about black people, black men specifically, nobody wants to buck the system and do some actual goddamn research. It's just fucking amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell me 14% of the population is going to wreak more havoc than almost 65 to 68, almost 70% of the population?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was one time that one black person was killed by the police, five white men were killed by the police. Are those 5 killings going to be labeled as homicide? No.
No.
But they were done by white officers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we need to stop. And we need to stop with these bullshit narratives because obviously the dude didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, the greater, I guess you could say, the greater the propaganda, the more likely it's going to be heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Chaos?
Well, one thing I think, and I'm going to play it to let people know what we talk about because usually seeing it is more believing. This is my thing. I think it's going to come to a point now for a lot of Negroes. They got to make a decision choice. Are they going to keep believing the hype or are they going to start questioning? And the reason why I say that is because you're not a big population. Besides the so-called black and black crime, if I want to keep calling this what it is, that it has been declining since after the crime bill. Now, maybe in certain cities, it might be still high, but we don't question really, is it really black people all do these killing on each other, or is a mixture between black and non-black? But come on, white people kill, it's not labeled as murder. And we're not really questioning this now. And when I heard about even stories about some people in Chicago say how the guns were left for the hood, and it makes no sense. They put that there so you can use it not only towards each other, but if you're using it and someone that's not black kills you, you will not know about it. Just like the Ahmaud Arbery case, which if I have time, I'll talk about today, but not maybe next time. That this man was killed and no one knew about it until 2.5 months in a part of Georgia. The only time it was known about it is somebody leaked the video. So it made me think intentionally they did that deliberately to cause a reaction. What do you think, Charles?
I think it's more than intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you record you hunting down a black man and killing him? What was the purpose of chasing him down? Taking the law into your hands. 20 years ago, they would have walked.
Yeah.
They would have walked. I don't care what nobody said. Those assholes would have walked.
Lead attorney here. Hope.
Yeah, they would walk. And now because the country's moving in a different direction, it makes me think now, say that black people should not get really comfortable now, the way how things are turning right now. It makes people going to have to be more proactive than ever. I mean, yeah, it seems nice that this was some of a victory. I rather know what sense these guys are going to get. But the more important thing is that as men and women, especially men, we cannot be complacent in knowing what we should be doing. There is a need for a lot of black people in law enforcement, unfortunately. You get me? And a lot of black people, men and women, regardless if they want to hear this, Charles, they're not going to escape it. That's why you think about the times you were on these panels, Charles, or even times when you were interviewed. What's one thing you notice about the black males, the men especially, when it comes to law enforcement? What is the thing you know is calmly, consistent? If you want to answer that, as I fast forward this.
Okay. Ask the question again. I didn't know.
I said, what is one thing you know is consistently, every time when you get interviewed, or just the question asked by law enforcement that you know is that is bothering a lot of black males, black men especially? If you know.
The one thing you won't hear a lot.
Their problem. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the one thing you know you won't hear is how can we get more black males in those positions?
Mm-hmm.
You'll never hear that.
No, I don't hear that. No.
You'll hear the victim narrative. Oh, the police bother us. Why not take over the police department?
700,000 police officers. We're only 12%. Now, here's the caveat. Our numbers are dropping, right? Police departments across the nation are seeing a drop in.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm going to run maybe 10 minutes of this. It's maybe less than 10 minutes, but it's going to really, we got to look at some things because this and this guy's a consequence, from the far right. So I'm gonna play now for y'all guys listen. And like always, leave turn this in mind, but we'll use it anyway. We will go fair use for this one. Listen good, guys.
African-American applicants by 20 to 50%. Okay, so now you're talking, we're absent now, right? We make up 38% of this prison population. But why is that, you say? Do you see the crimes that we're committing? Right? Do you see the crimes that we're committing? On average, African Americans are killing themselves 7,500 bodies a year, right? Between 7,000 and 7,500 guaranteed death, black deaths Okay, so when we're talking about why we are in prison, we are committing half of the violent offenses in this country, and we're only 13%. So
Pause,
this argument
pause.
that you're making.
All right, there you go. There you have it. There you go. Go ahead.
See, this
Mhm.
is what you call blind blackism.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go look up the amount of sexual assaults, which is a violent crime.
Okay.
Compare that to white people. White people are the overwhelming majority of rapes and sex offenses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By like 70 to almost 80%. We don't commit. See, the problem is this. Black people need to know when to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as something happens in your neighborhood, they're gonna produce a fucking hit piece against black men. Yet, was this guy talking about Cal Rittenhouse and saying that he committed murder? I bet you he's one of the people who said he acted in self-defense.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would clip everything, but I would not be surprised. Yeah.
Then on top of that, how many burglaries do they get charged with? How many stabbings and shootings they get charged with?
Mm-mm.
Once again, you saw a travesty of justice all over this country, from Cal Rittenhouse to Amber Geiger and others, and you're looking at it like, wow. When you're in America and you're a black man, you're guilty, proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
When you're white, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think if that fucking video with the Aubrey case didn't come out, that they wouldn't have walked?
Yeah.
It takes a goddamn video to convict a goddamn white man. Do you think the Darren Chauvin, or whatever the fuck his name is, didn't have his knee on, what's the guy's name? George Floyd's neck
George Floyd.
for almost 9 minutes? Do you think he would have been convicted? But continue the video.
All right. And for those that's liking the video, please, if you want to support the channel, you could support it. I put it in the chat room. And also, please share this and let's have the conversation, people. Let's continue.
Making is not rooted in facts, right? What you're saying is, yes, we're there, but let me explain to you why we're there. We're committing a lot of the most violent offenses in this country, right? We account for almost half of the murders. 7,500 of us, homicide, right? Died by homicide. How many white people died by homicide?
By the way.
It was like,
yep, there you go. See, there you go. He talked about the homicide.
By the way, majority of black people in jail, black men, are in jail for nonviolent offenses.
Yep.
This is what you have when you have these Negro conservatives spewing white talking points and not even investigating them.
Mm-hmm.
If most of your offenses are nonviolent, but yet you count my shit as homicide,
mm-hmm.
but you don't count majority of white officers, the white people, as homicide, what is the discretion?
Mm. Yeah.
So if Kyle's going around doing a riot, protecting property, which you cannot shoot or kill for, and he engages in a battle, then every motherfucker in this country should have gotten off the same fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me you just made a case for a goddamn drug dealer walking down the street, and somebody shooting at him, he returns fire and kills the guy. So you're saying from the Kyle Rittenhouse case, he should get off too. You just set precedence.
Mm-hmm.
What continue?
All right. Let me continue the tape. All right, let me just do something. All right, continuing.
4,000.
Wow.
They're 60% of the population. You get what I'm saying? Do you see the problem? We have an issue with our culture. There's a culture, Black culture, that needs to be examined. It needs to be identified and say, hey, what's the issue? We have kids, 14, 15, killing each other. I've seen it. I've stood over bodies. I've stood over so many Black bodies. So you can't tell me, right? This is the problem. You cannot tell me. I know the truth. And here's the thing, right? I've arrested kids. I've arrested plenty of kids. And to turn around and find out 4 years later, I'm called into court to be a witness because they're on trial for aggravated assault. They're on trial for murder. And I need to testify on a previous case that I had with them when I arrested them a long, long time ago. Kids I've arrested at 14, 15 in DeKalb County are doing life in prison. And to know that I had a conversation with them, mentored them, and trying to tell them that they can do better, that don't allow this opportunity to dictate or change, your future.
All right,
right?
pause it.
That this doesn't.
Do you really think that he came to mentor people? Because look, here's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my absolute shit. Mentoring, you're supposed to start before crime occurs.
Exactly. You got to start before
Then
anything happens. Yeah.
Then on top of that, nobody's calling you as a fucking character witness from something that happened 4 or 5 years ago because they're going to be like, what the fuck does that got to do with this case now?
Mm-hmm.
So when I see this shit, and he keeps spewing on about violent crimes and the culture, what's the culture of white people? They're not peaceful. They get the finagle. You saw when a kid comes out outside of their state, 40 minutes away, into another state to shoot people. You saw how judges were pleading and making the solve for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I'm going to say it again, and I said it once and I'm going to say it again. Black males do not have the age of adolescence as white boys do. AKA, boys will be boys.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we're taught as being a threat. As soon as you reach the age of 10, you're looked at as a threat.
Yeah.
When Tamir Rice, the incident occurred, the officers thought he was like 5 to 6, 7 years older than what the fuck he was. So we need to stop this bullshit and act like we're so equal under the same fucking Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to all the hood conservatives, all the Supreme King Coons who wants to live outside the community. You bring the community everywhere you go because of your black ass skin.
Mm-hmm.
You can't marry out of it. You can't date out of it. You can't fuck out of it. You can't buy yourself out of blackness. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You keep coming up with these people keep coming up with these narratives. And I'm like, number one, black people didn't commit 52% of these fucking murders. You change the fucking narrative of every time a white person gets up for shit. You're lucky they didn't cancel the murder charges for these men instead of fucking putting them as homicide. If the video never came out, what they did to Amir Arthur, guess what's going to happen? They would have walked. But continue.
Yeah, and not only they would have walked, that they would have moved on and carried on like it was nothing new. And the funny thing, because I know a lot of people live in Georgia, especially Atlanta, that's a small county. I'm talking about the whole peach of Georgia. Outside that small county where black people reside, you're not outside that little area you're in what do you call Crackersville. You're in like those villas where there's pure Buckhead Caucasoids. The real country ones. You get me? So they're going to do some damage for you outside the skirts. So when they do things like this, you have to question that if they took your life, it would not been noticed. No one would have heard about it. It would have been like just another day. So let me keep playing this.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
Define you, and to find out 5 years later they're in prison. Sir, you see what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. It's not.
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all.
You see what I'm saying? So
I don't disagree with you at all. But
so
the numbers still.
Why we're filling up these prisons?
But if so you're telling me you don't think that there's not a little bit of over policing, a little bit of fudging here or there?
There's but here's the thing: there's always going to be people who aren't doing their job properly. What I'm saying is you're focusing on something that's so minor. You're talking about shallow issues. When the reality is it's shallow in comparison to what's going on within our community, right? I'm not dismissing that it is a problem.
Pause. Number one, how is locking up people for small offenses shallow when you're filling up the jails? You got to remember, jails aren't filled if cops ain't making arrests.
Yeah. Of course.
If we don't make arrests, you're not going to jail.
Exactly.
So while we filling them up, majority of the fill-ups are not violent crimes. See, this is the reason why. Have you ever noticed the reason why people don't like to debate me?
I mean, because you're laying out the law and factual information that we're not really talking about. We're not looking into. We're not using our common sense, Charles, and that's what bothers me. To be fair, honest with you.
And that's the point that I get to. You're saying that we have an issue with the community, but you police the black community more than other communities because those other communities pay for the politicians. And here it goes. Wait a minute. Hold up. I'm going to pick on the more poor black neighborhoods instead of bringing infrastructure to those neighborhoods and let their neighborhoods rot to shit. But yeah, I'm going to send the police there instead of having police presence where it's needed and tackling the criminals that you get. You're locking up somebody for a suspended license or a suspended tag. You're locking up somebody for marijuana possession. Not distribution, but just possession.
Just possession, yeah. Which give you a couple years in jail. Just by
How many times have you seen people locked up on FTA warrants? Failure to appear.
And there's no data on that.
I'm not saying there's not a violence issue in any community. You tackle it the same. Stop looking at the black community like this motherfucker's basically saying those white talking points from the fucking 1800s. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
We're violent because we're genetically dispositioned to be violent.
Yeah.
We have a violence that's innately ours through DNA. This is what this motherfucker has just said.
Yeah, I know.
I come to mentor. No, you don't mentor. You try to come from fucking Mount Olympus to talk about holier than thou shit instead of realizing why are these boys being miseducated? Why is it the same fucking funding that goes to the white schools are coming to the black schools in the same city?
Yeah.
See, I live in a predominantly black neighborhood and a predominantly black city. You have motherfuckers like Marilyn Mosby talking about this is what we did for the docket. How many motherfuckers did you have on a docket that you just no process you just got rid of? You don't convict any fucking body unless it's a cop you're trying to get off. And here's the crazy part. When the fucking Freddie Gray riots happened, what did you do? Nothing. Did you convict all them people looting that was caught? No, you let them go. You finagle with the fucking shit that goes on. Your office is in turmoil. We're under the consent decree because of fucking shit that nobody wants to listen to, which is common sense policing. But as soon as we arrest a criminal, it's up to the prosecution and the judge. And how many times have fucking criminals walked?
Yeah, a lot of criminals. Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And I look at that, and she wants to use a bias, Johns Hopkins fucking investigation, and say, well, criminals are less likely. There's a 1% chance they'll repeat. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. This is how the criminal justice system works in a nutshell. If I lock you up for selling drugs, that's a felony. Guess what you're not going to be able to do anymore? You got to go. Let's say if you go to a prison system that allows you to get your education and trade. Okay, you cleaned up your life. You served your time. Bada bing, bada boom. You come out of jail. You have a degree to be a school teacher, or from some type of studious, or you're a carpenter. Oh, you try to get a job at some of these places. Oh, you got to have a clean record.
Mm-hmm. A hurdle.
But guess what happens? Old habits die hard, especially when it comes to survival.
Mm-hmm.
So you force that young man to go back into a life of crime after he proved to you that he's trying to clean up his fucking act. Jail is supposed to be three things: a deterrent, a punishment, and a rehabilitation. The only damn thing we do is fucking make a better criminal.
Facts.
So if that's true, and if you had a 1% of people are going to have a recidivist rate, guess what? You wouldn't have a motherfucker out there with a fucking rap sheet as long as your fucking leg.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit. I even told a friend of mine last night, if that was true, your baby daddy wouldn't be in and out of jail. You go back to what the fuck you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's just human survival. If you don't give me a chance to survive, I'm going to survive on the best ways that I can. Continue.
All right. Yeah. And hello, everybody. I see a few people in the chat room. Welcome. I'm gonna put the link in a little bit for anybody that want to have commentary. My thing is this: because the prison system, and this is my opinion, Charles, and I did a stream on this maybe a month ago too, that prison was designed for Black people, period, in my opinion. Because there's no way in hell that they talk about the prison system, whether big or small, that we're in. And when you look at the data, and I don't like this data, but we're going to use it for the sake of conversation, that what are these people in there? They're not doing like killing people like random that's doing time jail. Most of these criminal offense are non-offense crimes that they had to try just to get by or to eat, you know? And mind you, if you notice with the space, a lot of these Black males, they think it's easy that a man could just sit there, do the entrepreneur route if they do jail. No, that's not how it works. And now the system, how the prison is now structured now and designed as we speak, they're making it easy for you to go back to prison, like a turnover ratio, because there's certain places and certain prisons, and I want people to hit me in the comment section if I'm right or wrong, that they cannot get a college degree now. The books that was there for them to occupy their time is very little now. Some of the books don't help improve your mind. So what happens to a person that does the first 5 or 10 years in jail for a non-offense crime, knowing that he might not be able to get no work? He's going to go right force jail. Right.
You're going to force people to go back.
Yep.
And I look at these politicians when they want to talk about crime. I want you to look up the causes of crime real quick.
Let me look it up. Give me a second.
Because when we look at the causes of crime and other things like that,
yeah,
we got to be very careful on what the fuck we say and hold our politicians to the fucking letter of the law.
Now let's see what pulls up. Oh, okay. You know, once I finish running this video, I'm gonna pull it up. what really causes crime. Because let me see, can I? I don't know if I can share it. Let me see if StreamYard can allow me to share another screen. I'm gonna do this. See if this work. Okay, it looks like it will allow me. Good. Let's look at this, guys. And let me see if it's showing.
It's showing.
See? All right, good. What do you see highlighted here? This right here.
The course of crime are complex. Excuse me, the cause of crime is
Complex.
The causes of crime are complex.
Mhm.
Poverty, parental neglect, low self-esteem, alcohol, and drug abuse can be connected to why people break the law. Some at a greater risk of becoming offenders because of the circumstances into which they are born. So
There you have it.
So right there, when you promote a welfare state, a single mama state, a poverty state, which all those things do incur, what is that? You're gonna have people who are just born into poverty and can't eat. So if you force a person who can't eat, then what the fuck happens? They're gonna become what? Desperate. Crime basically is broken down into lack of opportunity. Hopelessness, time, and also lack of resources in one's environment.
Yep.
So if I cannot overcome those issues, what's going to become
someone
of
says
it?
that, for example,
go ahead, play it.
No, it was interrupt. Finish your statement. I'm gonna continue playing it.
So until we fucking fix the poverty issues, the lack of education and opportunity issues, the hopelessness issue, you're gonna have this repeat crime. You're trying to say we have a problem with our culture, but yet, how is it that we came from descendants of slaves, but now we're equal in rights to the ruling class? That's not a problem race. You allow foreigners to get fucking business vouchers in our country that natural born citizens cannot get. And the first neighborhoods they come to build their businesses is where? The black community. So they siphon money out the community, won't hire your kid, won't hire you, but they'll send their money back to their country, which will pick up 1,000-fold, and their family's living rich. Get the fuck out of here. But go ahead, play it.
Sorry about that, guys. I had a call. I'm gonna play a few more of this, and we're gonna look at the thing. Matter of fact, let me drop the link if anybody wants to come up for a little bit, not long. All right, let's keep playing.
Right? You have activists who say police officers are the reason why the black community is failing, struggling, and can't achieve greatness. No, sir, that's not the reason why the black community. I know that not you. I'm saying there are people who make that type of argument. We have a lot of issues in our community that need to be addressed. It's the reason why I love this channel. I love TLA's channel, right? We have brothers who are out here giving game and trying to explain to our people. We have a space where we can communicate now. I'm an officer. I can give back knowledge hey, here's what we went wrong. Here's what we can do. Here's how we have better interactions with the police. We don't need to fear them. We need to understand the law. We need to understand our rights, right? You have an attorney right here. We have people in this space of YouTube who have millions of subscribers, right? And they use their platform to push poison into our minds. So again, we have the ability to have these conversations, to have these dialogues, and to really create change. And that's what the objective needs to be at. We sit here and we swim on this idea about the system not being fair. No, don't put your ass in the system.
I never said the
I'm not
system wasn't
talking to you.
fair.
I'm not talking to you. I'm just
Okay.
saying in general. But the idea is, and I'm sorry, I'm just very passionate.
It's okay. No, I appreciate that. No, go
You know what
ahead.
I'm saying?
Sorry.
Because I love our people. And again, I had to leave DeKalb County because it was so much violence, right? I was locking up brothers and sisters every single day. And there was no white man there telling them to commit those crimes, kicking in those doors, stabbing and shooting each other. It was us doing that.
Father,
Of
You see what I'm
course.
saying?
Let me pause.
And that's how.
once again, here comes the shit. You know the beautiful thing about white supremacy? They'll put you in such a fucked up position and tell you a narrative that's so fucked up that you don't even know who to blame. If white people really had such a proper culture, why do they have whole states of nothing but white people in them, dirt poor?
That's a good question.
Look at fucking Kentucky. Fucking Kentucky is like dirt poor. One of the highest, one county in Kentucky, one of the highest motherfuckers ever to go to welfare and all kinds of social services. But who's the picture perfect person when you think of welfare? It's going to be black mothers. When statistically it's white women. See, this is the reason why I could tell, well, I've locked up all these black people. If your ass was in Iowa, guess who would commit all the homicides? Guess who would commit all the fucking theft, all the stealing? Guess who would commit it? Nothing but white people.
Yeah.
But we want to focus on this one little thing that somebody said, but it can be easily disproven. Think about that.
Oh yeah.
If Kyle Rittenhouse was a black boy, he'd be charged for double homicide and attempted murder.
Yep.
And convicted. If Amber Geiger was a black woman, she would be convicted.
Yeah.
For murder one. So you're going to tell us, wait a minute, I want you to go pull that shit up real quick.
This
pull
one?
that shit up right there. Yeah, what you got?
All right. Now this is 2016, 5 years ago. We're going to look at it. Let me zoom in so people can see this. I want to look at this good. And that should be good enough. Let me look at my end, make sure it's perfect enough. Yeah, it looks like perfect. Okay, go ahead.
Look at that. You want homicide? Look at that. Look at that by race. Yet, I think it's very funny, right? When it comes to aggravated assaults, look at the numbers.
I'm looking at aggregate, so let me go down. This right here, okay.
Because every homicide is automatically an aggravated assault.
Ooh, they don't talk about that. We don't know. We didn't learn about that. Y'all see this?
Go up the rate.
The rate? Let me see.
Yep.
Oh, rate right here.
Every rape is an aggravated assault.
Yep.
With the exception of statutory, which is just age-based. So let's look at burglaries.
Very good. And let's be honest, when you burglarize someone, how highly someone will commit murder? Burglaring people.
I mean, if you're committing a burglary with somebody's in there, that's a home invasion. So you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at larceny right below it.
Yep.
Which means taking without force.
Yep.
Notice how all these crimes are substantially higher for white than black. So you leave me and go up to fucking homicide and manslaughter.
All right, murder. Man, it's this one right here. Oh, sorry. Let me go.
Notice how very close those numbers are compared to everything else in this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Very close. Yeah. See that? And it tells you when they mislabel the labels. And now mind you, Charles, I know people that watch my channel much. And if they do come across this stream, they might question it and say, well, look, it shows that we commit. No, you're missing the point. You dumb fools. They don't label the same crimes to blacks to whites.
No,
and if they really keep it up and honest, this number will be bigger in regards to the murder and manslaughter homicide. If we want to keep it 100. So right there, they're disqualified talking about we commit most murders because you're not labeling the same murder from black and white.
So what about when we have all these mass shootings?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's counted as one incident with multiple victims.
Yep.
Look at Vegas. One incident, multiple victims.
Mm-hmm.
Guy killed himself, right?
Yeah, he committed suicide.
So you couldn't get a conviction, right?
You couldn't get one. Nope. Couldn't. Nope.
Columbine. The two idiots killed themselves, right?
Yep.
The Florida shooting. Killed himself, right?
Yep.
Virginia Tech when it was an Asian dude. Killed himself, right?
Yes.
Look at what I tell you about finagling numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, all for conviction. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I also thought that we do commit another crime. Never mind. How can we commit so many crimes? But yet, almost double, if not triple or quadruple, the amount of offenses committed in every other crime.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm supposed to believe we commit less than them?
Mm.
Look how they complete the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how I showed you. Every fucking murder is automatically aggravated assault. First degree assault.
Yeah. All of them. Yeah.
So right then and there, we have a disparity, right? And they want to use those fucking numbers to act like white people are such the most peaceful motherfuckers. Yet, how many of these motherfuckers went around historically destroying countries, committing genocide, and we're the violent ones, right?
Yeah, it's a long rap sheet, bro.
But by that definition, we learn from the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, we're not supposed to say that, though. I'm sorry.
No, we're not supposed to say it. And you know how stupid people, males and females, keep pushing the same narrative just to get some likes and views. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You want to repeat what I say? They compete. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
I want you to repeat what you said.
Yeah, they keep pushing the same narrative for likes and views and maybe some little money cash ads, monetization, whatever you want to call it, which is okay, but we have to be honest here, because let's be honest, you will not be saying that crap out your mouth if this platform doesn't give you the grace to be pushing that false propaganda. Imagine as black men, we say some opposite amongst our own women or just other people. It becomes a big issue, which I find it ironic. So yeah. Oh, Dieter, if you want to come up for a few minutes, come up now. Links in the chat. Yeah, so that's my big issue. Now I could keep playing with this.
What I'm saying to you though is, I get why things are the way they are. I know why there's officers that abuse their power. I know where it's coming from. I know the root problems. I know the causes. I have good ideas on how to fix that issue, right? So there are solutions. Collectively as a community, we can make change, but we can only do it together, right? And if we don't come together and do it, nothing will ever get fixed. It's nobody's responsibility to fix our problems but ourselves, right? And the same people that you're complaining about, or other people complain about, who put this system together, we cannot then turn around and complain about them, complain about this racism or systemic racism, and then beg them to fix the problem. It doesn't work like that. And I'm sorry, TLA, I forgot where I just.
No, you're good.
I wasn't
ahead,
even.
Alvin.
Not you, brother. Not you. But this conversation needs to be had.
It does.
It's not you. So I didn't mean that to be an attack or nothing like that.
No, not at all. And I didn't take it that way.
Pause it. Okay. Why is there every Negro always trying to alleviate white people from their fucking shit?
I have no idea.
That's exactly how it works. What the fuck did Asian people do? Stop hating on me, a black man and white man. Give me rights. Okay, we'll give you rights. We'll give you special protection. That's exactly how the shit works.
Yeah.
What do you expect us to do? Something that no other race of men have done? That's idiotic, my dude.
Very idiotic.
That's idiotic. You can't tell people, well, we can't go to the racist people who's ruling us and tell them we can't get. That's bullshit. First of all, you got to go to the people who gave you your fucking culture in the first place. We never like to put the blame on people who deserve it.
Yeah.
We got somebody coming up.
No one has taken up yet. But I would say this. I'll give y'all maybe 1 or 2 minutes because I got to call this a day because I want to enjoy some of this day. I will say this: that black men, you're not going to escape this. You have a lot of obstacles in front of you right now just to improve the image of black men. We have people, and Mr. Day, I check his channel. His channel looks pretty decent from last month. I observe it, and they grow pretty fast. But if you're pushing this propaganda, brother, I can't vouch for you. You get me? As another black man, because when I look at the system, how we got to the position and how they keep pushing us as the big bad black man, I can't rock with that. I'm sorry. You get me? Now, I can find it surprising when women will say that, and some stupid black males that follow liberalism or whatever this conservative nonsense. Maybe I expect that from him, but I can't expect from any other man pushing that nonsense. You get me? Now, his solutions, from what he said, is power. But you're not going to detail how do you gain this power. And don't get me wrong, I would rather we deal with the solutions part that we could do that's reasonable than something that's more in an upscale. Now, the Great Faulkner Initiative, as y'all know, if you're not following it, that's a good layout plan that what black men could do now. That's simple, you can follow, and something that enough black men could do. But let's be honest. And remember, mind you, Charles, if people watch this video, right, that you did came up, right, and you did present it. Now I know most people didn't know about it, and some people were just off guard. But I'll tell y'all personally that this is a well thought out plan. You was truly created. If anybody's can improve on the plan that's already laid out, what you two brothers wrote back in 2018 and wrote as a PDF back in 2019, 2 years ago, I would advise people read it. Now, I don't know if you're still active in the chat room, Charles. Oh, what's good, Jay Shine? If you could post it in the chat room, I will snatch it up and I'll put it in this description. Because I like to deal with logical solutions, not no over exaggerating solutions talking about power. Power goes in many ways. You get me? So, hold on. You can go ahead, Charles.
No, I'm just sick of these weird narratives where people have. You're gonna tell me that majority of that small population that we have of black folk are committing 52% of the murders? Well, we just went by the stats and said, how the fuck is that possible? How is it?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to challenge the notion. Nobody wants to challenge the notion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And say,
anyway,
hey, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense either. But in closing, please, if you're going to send any information from any content creator, have a clear sense of mind and use your common sense to really start questioning it and really think critical on what these people are saying, especially in regards to black people, black men and women, especially, because now this is getting really stupid now. And I don't do much streams trying to debunk a lot of things, but I will do it just when I hear some goofy shit. That's my last words. Any closing statements, Charles?
Be careful what you hear, especially from the smiling Negro who tells you, oh, we're here, I'm for my people, but I'm gonna criticize you.
Mm-hmm.
What solutions do you have, brother, man?
Mm-hmm.
I myself is getting personally tired that when the conversations need to be had, notice I'm the person they never want to include.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why too. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Chaos.
Oh yeah, thank you again, Charles Faulkner. And like always, we're gonna do this again down the line, and really debunk the nonsense. And I'd like to thank everybody for listening to today's stream. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, please hit that red button and hit that top bell for the latest uploads and streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. You can also now follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7, and you can now add me as a friend on Facebook, Chaos Rain. My fault, Eric Rain on Facebook. Until next time. Well, actually, you know where to find me. You know what it is.
Ring!